Are we ready? All right. As soon as I submitted the text, I came up with core blimey, which I think is like the most rich thing anyway. So core blimey. Thank you so much for coming along. I will be talking about Kimagure Orange Road in this session. Follow me down the whimsical Orange Road. So manga critic Jason Thompson stated Orange Road is the archetypal shonen rom-com and had a major influence on the shonen romantic comedy genre. And it wasn't the first shonen rom-com to be created, but Orange Road was the first to have significant popularity in the anime and manga world. The series is about first love and indecision, about the blurred lines between love and friendship, and it's all very close to reality, or better still, a sweet, idealized, gentle reality. So, as an older series that sets the standards for a lot of future shows, there are some bits that now feel generic by today's standards. So, have I knocked everybody out? Hilarious. No, come on in. I have started, so you can jump in. So the main character, Madoka, is considered to be a root of the tsundere archetype. The series also plays on the delinquenta or sickburn archetypes. The main character and his family all have ESP powers. It featured music that contributed to its 80s aesthetic. It's known for its romantic and nostalgic pioneering style. It has character designs that are considered a hallmark of the era. What's going on?
The door's auto-locking, so...
Oh, right, okay. Maybe it's like a chair or something. I think it's just like, is there?
That's Laura.
Yeah.
Must have been the wind.
Oh, that'll do. Right, so yeah, the series is often cited as a cornerstone of 80s anime romance. So
The door's auto-locking
Laura,
for some reason.
Otherwise known as Pink Hop Jack. I've been attending anime conventions for a long time in the UK. I first saw Orange Road when I was about 16-ish years old, so I was just at the top end of the right demographic, so it means a lot to me, still to this day. I love 80s and 90s anime and manga art styles in general. Orange Road influenced my own work a lot. Here are two pictures I made that I don't think anyone has actually seen for about 20 years. So there we go. I think that was the last actual cell painting that I did. So yeah, we do actually have cell painting happening later on as well. So yeah, Neil will tell you all about that as well. Here, at our very own Minamicon. So yeah, so we mentioned Orange Road is regarded as the progenitor of modern anime. Romances how and why. So it introduced its 1980s aesthetic. It didn't know it, obviously, because it was made in the 80s. It also introduced supernatural elements. The indecisive male protagonist caught in a love triangle. Madoka Ayukawa is credited as the primary root of the tsundere archetype. She's tough, she's moody, she's a delinquent with a hidden soft side. And unlike pure slice of life series like Maison Ikoku, Orange Road used ESP like telekinesis, time tripping, body swapping, I think, even as a comedy device to exacerbate. My slide deck is not working. To exacerbate romantic tension. So Kimagure, what the heck does that mean? So the themes are longing and yearning and aspiration, earnestness and burning desire from very swift Google searches. The title was chosen by the author to evoke this nostalgic romantic atmosphere. It blends Japanese and English bits to create a distinct modern feel. So yeah, Kimagure is like whimsical. Some of the early translations were whimsical Orange Road or capricious Orange Road, fickle or moody, and that relates to Ayukawa, Madoka. So she shifts between being soft and tough as well as indecisive herself and kind and a good friend. But also, like, she'll beat you up if she feels like it. So, the orange refers to the scenic and warm atmosphere of the setting. It's inspired by Setagaya Ward in Tokyo. It is associated with the orange street where the characters meet and their cafe is located. And the road symbolises the road of life, or the journey of youth, which is capricious, Kimagure, due to the unpredictable nature of love. And also early ideas in the series included projects with titles like Panic in Orange Avenue, suggesting that the author wanted a name that sounded a bit like a rock. So yeah, pictures there. No pictures here. So yeah, a love and a longing for nostalgic days. That's what gets revived with watching and reading Orange Road. Even if it's a fantasy that you have of those days, even if these things did not even happen in your own life, watching the show generates this warm and comforting feeling. So everybody close your eyes, dream along with me. So time walk back to the 80s, or if you weren't born then, imagine school summer holidays, 8-bit video games, and thinking about good times with your friends, or thinking of that person that you like. Some synth pop plays on the radio, you're watching anime on VHS during hazy summer holidays. Days of freedom. The bittersweet memories of those youthful days still remain somewhere in your heart, along with this series. So you can open your eyes now. So yeah, in Japan, in the 80s, the summer was defined by the peak of their bubble economy. It had intense heat, unparalleled consumerism, and vibrant youth culture, because everybody had the money to do those sorts of things. So yeah, you had real estate prices, high wages, and cities like Tokyo buzzed with fashion-conscious crowds, city pop music, and neon-lit nightlife, And there was this sense of optimism that we could do with right now. So yeah, if we don't feel it right now, just watch So who's who travelling the Orange Road? So it mixes teen romance, light fantasy, and indecisive Esper teenage Kyosuke Kasuga in this love triangle with the cool and guarded Madoka Ayukawa and her bubbly best friend, Hikaru. There are misunderstandings, cheeky teenage comedy, genuine emotional moments. And the charm of the series comes from watching these anime teenagers act like actual teenagers. They're awkward, they're hormonal, they're pretty heartfelt, and they make the on-screen relationships feel really sweet even if they do go a bit sour. So Kyosuke Kasuga's family has to keep moving house, and therefore around Japan, to keep their family ESP powers a secret. So the family moves house once again. Kyosuke walks around the new town, and he meets Madoka Ayukawa. He instantly falls for her. She's too cool. Only to discover the next day that she's actually a feared local delinquent and his fellow classmate. Oh dear. A few days later, Madoka's best friend Hikaru secretly sees Kyosuke use his powers. She doesn't realise that's what he's doing, she just thinks he's like so cool. Hikaru falls for him instantly. Kyosuke accidentally ends up dating her. She basically says, wow, you're cool, you're my boyfriend now, and he goes, what's happening? Like, he just falls into it. So, caught between Madoka, who hides her feelings to protect her best friend Hikaru, who adores Kyosuke, and Kyosuke, well, all of their indecision really, Madoka and Kyosuke's indecision, it fuels this messy, very teenage love triangle full of misunderstandings, angst, and possibly bad choices. So there will be no spoilers in this talk. You will have to watch the first movie, to find out if and how this love triangle gets resolved and have your hearts shattered into tiny bitty pieces.
Oh, I didn't know there was a movie. Oh no.
Right, okay.
I actually don't know how this
Alright.
ends. Yeah, I love the series.
So what about the characters? So Hikaru, with the short blonde bob, she's genki, she's adorable, she's resilient and feisty, she is a top tier supportive friend. So Madoka, not that Madoka. Once upon a time, you were able to just Google Madoka, and it would just be like Orange Road images. So Orange Road Madoka, she's the ultimate cool girl. She's aloof, she's admired, emotionally guarded. She has a softer side, only close friends see. She is also a talented saxophone player because it is the 80s. So Kyosuke is an every boy protagonist. He's awkward, he's indecisive, and he's easy for the viewers to project onto. What is it? What's it? A Mary Sam?
Mary
What's
Sue.
the Mary Sue but for males?
Gary Stu.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is, really.
I feel like he's perfect enough to be.
Exactly. And that's the point, exactly. So he may seem bland, that's the point. His arc is about growing up, making choices, dealing with the fallout. The characters really open up once you look past their surfaces, and that's where the depth lives. So, in the top right, there's a truck. The truck deserves its own credit. People get hit by vehicles in anime of this era constantly, usually to kick off chaos, in Orange Road's case, that the ESP family have to quickly undo before life snaps back to normal post-truck. So they do resolve a lot of truck things. In the bottom right, in the Abacaba, not a cab, the Abacaba coffee shop is where Madoka has a part-time job, which is very grown up. And it's a popular third space hangout for many of the younger characters. So on the left, the redhead top middle, that's Akane Kasuga. She's a mischievous, shape-shifting cousin. She loves staring and messing about with Kyosuke's love life. She's in one of the OAVs, and she was actually probably my first introduction to an anime lesbian in the 90s. Because like everybody loves
I was gonna say, she was my first gay character
Oh,
that I ever
really?
saw in an anime.
Lovely. So yeah, in the bottom two rows we've got Kazuya Kazuka, which is basically a bratty, chibi version of Kyosuke, and it's such a lazy character design because it's basically him, just in chibi form. And then we've got the sisters up here, Manami and Kurumi. Manami has glasses, and Kurumi is like super Genki and chaotic. Brunettes. Kyosuke is ESP-powered sisters. They cause endless mayhem and meddle with his romances and endlessly torment Jingoro the cat, who is very much not okay with any of this. So who is Jingoro? He deserves his own slide.
Screw that cat.
So he's the pet cat in the anime. He does not actually appear in the manga. He's like anime specific cat.
I'm choosing that beef with the cat.
So Jingoro gets his name from the Edo period wood sculptor Hidare Jingoro, who is thought to have carved the famous sleeping cat sculpture. That's at the Nikko Tosho-gu, which I had no idea about until I did the slide deck. So yeah, Jingoro is often the victim of Manami and Kurumi's abuse of power. Because of this, he often attempts to flee the Kasuga household. Here you can see him running in the streets, and Hikaru and Madoka capturing him and bringing him back home, much to his love. So the creator, who is the creator? So Izumi Matsumoto, his real name is Kazuya Terashima. So yeah, he's the creator of Orange Road. He actually broke into manga in the early 80s because he just cold called Shonen Jump. Said like, hey, have you got any opportunities coming up? Submitted a comic, won the Newcomer Award, and he scored serialization success in '84. Originally aiming for a music career, Matsumoto turned to manga and set out to bridge that gap between shonen action and shoujo romance. He wanted to create the kind of teen story he couldn't find at the time, with a male lead navigating emotions, relationships, and growing up. So yeah, it's a weird concept to grasp when there are now hundreds of like love comedies, action romances in Jump. But at the time, other than Mitsuru Adachi's Touch, which was kind of similar to Orange Road because it was about two boys competing for a girl, all of these stories of the genre, but I can't say it, I was going to say gender lens, of course, genre lens that we know and love that have been produced since owe a great debt to Orange Road. A male-oriented romance story aimed at Shonen Jump readership, which consists mainly of junior high school boys. It didn't seem realistic to even expect a drop of success with that, but it actually became a real hit. And in the anime, Akane Takada, she's this hugely influential 80s character designer. She's known for Urusa Yatsura, Creamy Mummy, and Orange Road. And after graduating from Tama Art University, she actually joined Tatsunoko Pro because she was a fan of Gadget Man. So like, hi, got any jobs? It was definitely the 80s when you could just do that sort of thing, I think. And then she left Tatsunoko, and then she joined Studio Piero. As a character designer, her job is to adapt manga art into clean and consistent designs that all the animation team could quickly animate, helping define that studio's visual style. So the Studio Piero, produced all of the Orange Road TV animations, all of the OAVs, and the 2 films. And what could be more 80s than the Piero clown, which is like every teenage girl's bedroom in the UK specifically. So the Orange Road characters were voiced by some famous seiyuu voice actors. Kyosuke was voiced by Toru Furuya, Maruko was voiced by Hiro Tsuru, Hikaru was voiced by Ariko Hara. And some fun facts, Tsuru and Furuya also voiced Bulma and Yamcha. Probably find it. There we go. Another famous anime pairing. So Tsuru was married to Keiichi Namba from 86 to 1990, who also voiced Komatsu in Orange Road as well, and also Zenshin from Dragon Ball, who was this guy that leads the kids just before killing Gohan and Bulma and Namek. Have to get a bit of Dragon Ball on my slide deck. So it's a big Toei love in. But the music is a massive part of Orange Road's appeal. It's poppy, it's contemporary, and it's unapologetically 80s. And the soundtrack is often overlooked when other reviewers have discussed this series retrospectively, which is an actual crime. The opening themes, they even play like music videos with later openings using slick single take animation, choppy frame. I can't explain it, they're all on YouTube anyway. But this wasn't common at the time as well, so for Orange Road to do that is specifically important. And all the soundtracks to the albums were big sellers, and the Singing Heart and Loving Heart has been reissued multiple times, most recently thanks to the City Pop revival. So you can stream it, you can buy it without hunting down very pricey vintage like CDs or vinyl. So Orange Road pulls together many key aspects of good times in Japan in the 80s. So we talked about the bubble economy. This ran from 86 to 91, that disposable income, that extravagant spending, going shopping in Ginza, and the booming nightlife. So youth in Harajuku and Shibuya expressed individuality through fashion, trends influenced by magazines, pop, rock, and Western culture. Summers were hot, sometimes actually causing power grid strain, and there was a major 1987 power outage in Tokyo. So when you hear the cicadas going in anime in the 80s, just think, oh yeah, like this area's just got a power cut down. And the era saw the rise of modern pop culture as we know it, with digital technology, opening of large entertainment centres for concerts and shows. And it would be weird to have Orange Road music but no actual musicians. So Madoka is so extremely talented as a character. She picks up any instrument. She becomes a singer to help a band out when they are short of a member. She's just like music queen. And she's even adept at horse riding, so she's also a So Madoka's parents, they've gone abroad. They now live in America. She's so 80s, she's a latchkey kid. So Madoka gets to live their ideal teen life, to be by herself, has all the autonomy, smokes all the cigarettes, and drinks all the booze. However, it is clear that she is a lonely and angry girl underneath. Her charm is she's mysterious, mercurial, tough, alluring with some self-destructing coping mechanisms, like underage drinking, oh my god. And Kyosuke being pious about it and then joins in. Some of these are Sukuman fight scenes, and she does not kiss about. Like, I would not like to get on the wrong side of her.
She's so cool.
So cool. And Hikaru is a tough girl as well. So Orange Road really lent into Sukuman, which is that tough schoolgirl fighter archetype from Japan in the 80s. And we've had plenty of Madoka fashion so far, but what about our charming model, Hikaru-chan? Yeah. So we witnessed Hikaru's charms throughout the series with her energetic and overall good and supportive nature. As a viewer, it's eventually understandable how Kyosuke cannot bear to bring himself to end their relationship she's foisted upon them both. And he sways often between fancying Madoka and Hikaru because he absolutely sees this charm and adorableness within Hikaru. And the TV show and manga dance around teenage attraction quite well without directly expressing it explicitly. And the OAVs and the films can push the boundaries more due to having less restrictions than mainstream TV or manga publishing. So here's a visual escalation curve with some wacky hijinks to conclude it.
Come on.
So inspiration from Madoka has officially been stated. It is officially Phoebe Cates from Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which Andy actually spotted immediately before I'd even put this slide together. So well done.
I was young in the 80s, leave me alone.
Yeah. As well as Akina Nakamori, one of the best-selling music artists in Japan. Akina achieved national recognition after winning the 1981 season of the talent show Star Tanjou, which I think is A Star Is Born, isn't it? On New Year's Eve day, I think. And there isn't any specific real-life inspiration for Hikaru, but fans have long speculated that her energetic personality and habit of calling Kyosuke darling is very similar. A theme shared by of Urusei Yasura, which Studio Pio also animated. So yeah, not obvious. Yeah. So yeah, a bit of the ideal girl, but more of the Nadaka paradox. So the ideal girl trope is this flat fantasy character made to be the perfect girlfriend, easygoing, attractive, built around whatever the frequent male lead wants. She exists mainly to support or inspire him with little inner life of her own and ends up promoting an unrealistic expectation of women. So here's a selection of postcard artworks. These are actually made to advertise the original video animations. But I think Madoka is a bit too sassy to fit this stereotype, especially at the start.
This is also what I found memorable when I watched it when I was like 16. I think it's the first thing. No, we were like 13.
Yeah, really.
I felt like it was the first anime that I saw that it felt like it was very real, tangible drama.
Yeah.
Like the problems were really
Like
real.
these teens are being
And she reacted in a real way when she
Yeah.
was like, she wasn't nice.
My
Absolutely.
core
Yeah.
memory of watching this as a teen was like, it's very like I think it was the first ever slice of life drama thing that I watched as a kid, where I really loved it and bought into it, and wasn't like, oh, this is boring. I was,
Yeah, that's it. You didn't know how it was going to go.
some very strong female characters.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think all of these images, so Ekemi Takada drew these lovely pastel artworks, and I think there's something, I'm throwing in this crop of the oil painting Olympia by Edward Manet. So Olympia, the whole painting features a nude woman. She's lying on a bed. Contemporary audiences were shocked by Olympia's confrontational gaze. In the painting's context, other details also identified Olympia as a courtesan. So yes, very saucy, very ooh la la. So studies show that direct gazes in paintings trigger similar brain responses. Similar brain responses, but to being watched by another living person. So I think Madoka's allure is frequently depicted similarly. Her tsundere quality, you don't know whether she does or does not like you at the time, but probably both, to be fair. And I made a little timeline for those who are curious. Although it's quite funny, it was featured in Weekly Playboy with all of its teenage sauciness at the end. So yeah, the original 18-volume run of Orange Road has over 20 million copies in circulation, and at its peak in the mid-80s, it was one of the big three romantic comedies in Shonen Jump, alongside Video Girl Eye and Ease. And I've thrown Maison Ikaku there as well. It came a little bit earlier, but the kind of, you don't know, even in Maison Ikaku, whether she kind of likes the main character or not, even though he really does like her. Yes?
So Weekly Boys Jump
Yep.
was shocker full of quote-unquote girl stories.
Essentially, yeah,
Sweet.
because a lot of authors at the time, like they loved all sorts of comics. They didn't just want to regurgitate. They wanted to add something else into it. And here are some gorgeous, colourful and fashionable front cover artworks created for the hardback compilation for absolutely no reason presented here other than that they are nice. Yeah.
I would definitely have that as a poster on my wall.
Yeah. Oh.
You can see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm just going to flip back to the music again, because the music is a huge part of its legacy. So there's been a lot of reissues. There was a 2021 yellow vinyl reissue of Singing Heart. It's highly sought after, and the Singing Heart box set is like the ultimate holy grail. It combines music from TV series, films, and rarity. I remember when I was younger, I was like, there are so many CDs, like, what's the difference? How do you know whether you're going to spend £35 on an import CD if it's like, just got, Japanese language in it? So the Sound Colour albums focus on the background music. The Singing Heart and the Loving Heart collect the vocal pop hits. Loving Heart with the blue hair by the car in the front is absolutely my favourite. Orange Station mixes some music with in-character dialogue, and there are other albums with pilot soundtracks, film scores, and And songs like Night of Summerside and Kanako Wada's ending themes charted on Oricon, and they later enjoyed a major revival because of the city pop revival boom. So in the early 90s, Orange Road was a pioneer in the Laserdisc box market. So the Singing Heart and Loving Heart Laserdiscs were actually specialized music video collections, compilations. So they made their own music videos based on the opening series and put montage footage and animations in there. There were premium products that were frequently featured in Best of the Year Otaku magazine polls, like in is it Animage? Animage? Or
Animage?
Yeah, I'm not sure. And the Blu-ray box of the anime series was released in 2021. It reached number 8 on the Oricon Weekly Animation Blu-ray charts during its debut week, which is exceptional performance for a 30-year-old series re-release. And what other Orange Road merch was about, you two could have your very own desk-sized Madoka figurine. There was a 1988 game called Summer Mirage on a PC variant, PC8801. The game was a text-based, menu-driven adventure, very typical of late 80s Japanese PC titles, and it's considered a desirable collector's items today. Original copies, as always, fetch high prices on vintage market sites. So yeah, there's a lot of oh no, you fell into me, slap, sort of cheeky hijinks happening there as well, but nothing too saucy. So Shin Orange Road, nothing to do with Hideaki Anno, is the new Orange Road, events that happened after the final movie. They all grow up, they go to college or America or whatnot. They were released as digital drama CDs, light novels, and digital comic CD-ROMs. So these novels were so successful, they maintained top-tier status in the Honokawa Sneaker Bunko imprint, and it led directly to the production of the second 96 theatrical movie, Summer's Beginning. So how do you view Orange Road? So it's not available on Prime. We suggest Old Boy instead. You can buy the vinyl. If you do want to come to my other talk today, it's on at 8:30, where I will go a little bit more into how. But basically, mainly tape trading. UK fans obtained subtitled VHS copies from America and converted them to UK PAL format. And then when you went onto DVDs, you give your VHS to your friends and made more fans. Or imported laserdiscs themselves that we saw earlier. Had the technology to subtitle them and record from the laserdisc in your computer onto VHS to send them to other fans. And some of the translations and synopses of Orange Road were uploaded to a very early internet. They're still there. I literally found these a few weeks ago. And these were uploaded and shared so people could code them in and create their own subtitles. Or you could just read about what happened in episodes that you couldn't get hold of at the time. So later on in America, Animego released the OAVs and the films and then the TV series later on. And this was a big deal to American fans especially. Orange Road and other shows were airing in Japan at the time when many Americans were traveling to Japan during the bubble era, as students or for business, so it became specifically nostalgic for them at the time. And Animego, very cool, they still do this. They provided liner notes to explain things like honorifics, cultural nuance, presented lyrics to sing along. Before the internet, you wouldn't know, but it would be up to companies to explain what sack means or chan. And here are some examples of the press releases and the lyrics that you can sing along to your hideously expensive imported. Win-up skins! Fandom created tons of Orange Road themed Win-up skins. They were customizable, user-created bitmap graphic files used to completely alter the appearance of Win-up in the late 90s and early 2000s. And thousands of Win-up skins were made, shared, categorized with everyone.
Billions.
They were so popular, over 65,000 skins are preserved in the Winamp Skin Museum online.
Skin museum.
Yeah. Online, not a physical one, but online.
Brilliant.
And we also have Spotify now, so here's a QR code if you want to access what I think is the best Orange Road playlist. So yeah. I'll also put this in the Discord as well.
So you just send it back out.
Everyone had it?
Give me a sec. There we go. Thank you.
Good. Okay. So yeah, so Orange Road did actually get an official limited UK VHS release around the year 2000. So we had 4 tapes covering the OAVs, so 2 each, and the movie. which I couldn't actually find an image of, but it definitely exists because I had it at the time. But with no TV series released beforehand, new viewers were dropped straight into the middle of the story. The first tape even received a 15 certificate, which was a shame because, you know, the audiences were like 12, aimed at 12, so that probably didn't help. And the tapes are now rare collector's items. I know this is going to break your hearts.
It really,
I know.
yeah, it really
And according to the Anime Encyclopedia, it actually ended up being one of the worst selling anime titles in the UK as well. So releasing the OAVs in the movie first in America made more sense because Orange Road was already popular through tape trading, helped by students recording it in Japan and travellers and pen pals sharing it. But yeah, it's no wonder it kind of flunked, unfortunately, which is so sad. So Shin Kimagure Orange Road was produced in '96. This film is partially based on the light novels, which served as a bridge between the original series and the second film, but nobody likes it. It's so unnecessary. It's actually really ugly, and it is on YouTube if you wish to view it. And this slide is called Weird Shit I Did Not Know Where to Fit In. So both Orange Road, this is a skit that appears in Project Echo 4. Seiko goes to the cinema to watch a film that she was going to buy with, going to visit with her friend Eiko, but they fell out, which is why she's viewing it on her own. And it's like, it's so weird because it uses the characters from Ranma Half to take the piss out of a really upsetting scene that happens in the first film. It's just so weird. And I think why this was made was because the same pool of animators who worked on Urusei Yatsura, Ranma, Orange Road also worked on Project Echo. But yeah, it specifically pokes fun at the over-earnest nature of high school romantic dramas. It's just so mean. It's just mean. But it is also really funny as well. So yeah. So the anime timeline, and I've put a little arrow between the first film and the OAVs because I was surprised that the OAVs were made after the film. Because as a chronological watch, it should be TV series, OAV, first film. And I think by this point they were really milking it. People were probably getting really sick of it. So yeah, I definitely recommend having some familiarity with TV series or the OAVs before watching the first film. But the first film is so good, it still makes me so upset watching it. It's just watch it on a strong day. So, and it's more effective. Like if you want to have like a Sunday afternoon weep, then, you know, before we all go back to work and whatnot. But it's more effective if you know the characters and you know where their relationship comes from. Orange Road was massive in Europe. Under the title Max et Compagnie, it was a staple of Club Dorothée. Think Whack-A-Day, but like over all the weekend summer holidays, and it's like an anthology of all the teenage anime that you could ever watch in Europe. And Orange Road in France commanded over 50% of the youth market share at the time.
So
They loved it. And in Italy, the localized theme song, E Quasi Magia Johnny, or Little Bit Magic Johnny.
Is that what he calls
It was a
himself?
massive hit. It was a massive hit, and it sold hundreds and thousands of copies on various like cartoon theme compilation albums. And in Italy, the series reached a peak audience share of 25% among teenagers during late afternoon broadcasts. Imagine watching Neighbours and then Orange Road, and then like, oh, amazing, in 1989. And I've also found a Swedish version and a Hong Kong version as well, so yeah. So love and hate. So yeah, certain bits of Orange Road is probably a bit cringy now, and they play in an outdated way, but context is key. But these were some of the frothiest rage dumps I saw for a while. And they argue that Orange Road relies on maybe shallow character archetypes. This love triangle is so unearned, wasted story potential, especially Kyosuke's psychic powers. Like it's a big thing at the start, and then sort of like the film doesn't actually talk about it. Like it just turns into this love triangle, and that's it. And the favoritism is towards Madoka because, you know, she's the poster child for selling this TV series at the expense of poor Hikaru. And there's a great quote called "The End of Orangelion," which I thought was but maybe watch it yourself, see what you think. But actually, I think what people should be really raging about is most of the male cast, to be honest.
Yeah.
So we've got Yusaku. He has an unrequited love for Hikaru. They were childhood friends, but he's got no redeeming features. She hates him anyway, and he's just a thug. So forget it. Kazuya, he's a brat. He's just useless. And over here we've got Hata and Komatsu, actual perverts. Like they say really disgusting things about girls, including Kyosuke's younger sisters right in front of him. Like, and I think if it got translated directly, it's probably the main reason why this series could never actually be distributed in the UK. Because I was reading these subtitles and I was literally aghast. So you cannot root for these guys in any way, shape or form, just ignore them. Anyway. So regarding the slide before, and my rage maybe, about that, screw the internet haters. So why are they wrong? Because I think Orange Road, it's the cornerstone of the 80s romantic comedy genre, especially for a title that's 40 years old now. Its global footprint's massive, Europe loves it. The manga is the most commercially successful part of the franchise. During its peak serialization, it was estimated that upwards of 600,000 people read the series every week. And it is credited, along with Dragon Ball, being one of the first series to successfully bridge the gap between Japanese and European markets, especially in Italy, France and Spain. And of course the success of the Laserdisc boxes, the music, so on. Madoka being an early, if not the tsundere archetype in anime and manga. And the anime has a Christmas episode, and it features an early use of the time loop plot device before Groundhog Day was released. It's wild to think of that. In '94, the creator Izumi Matsumoto launched Comic-On, which was the pre-internet mind, the world's first digital manga project released on CD-ROM. He created a self-funded company, sold it with Toshiba EMI. It featured semi-animated manga with music, voice acting, interviews, and new Orange Road specials. And this CD-ROM series also included work by American artists John Scott Frazier and Leia Hernandez, making it an early international manga collaboration. And it was really ahead of its time, but it faced resistance from traditional publishers, and that's why Matsumoto revisited the idea with graphic anthology, which looks a little bit graphic. We also get extra sexy pictures of a grown-up as well.
He placed leaf.
So yeah, in April 2016, Digital Manga Publishing in America launched the Orange Road Kickstarter to publish all the books translated into English with some huge stretch goals. So the company successfully raised $90,000 to produce 6 lots of these fat 3-in-1 omnibus volumes of the series, and offered multiple add-ons, like with this orangey summer theme, bookmarks, tote bags, beach towels, and sunglasses. So like a complete sucker, I did decide to do that. And this was the equivalent at the time of over 300 quid, and DMP kept me in the dark about it for 3 years until it shipped in May 2019.
Oh.
But yeah, those books are worth a lot of money now.
I don't remember you mentioning
That's because I didn't
that.
tell you. But the good thing is, I've got no customs charges. Anyway, moving on. So the Orange Road manga also presents different art styles for a few reasons, due to editorial suggestions, which is Shonen Jump's Iron Bar. So Madoka was chosen. She's the pin-up girl of the series. That was chosen, which is why it's like, oh my gosh, sexy. Izumi Matsumoto experienced huge health issues due to illness, so his assistants helped out. And one of his assistants was Kazushi Hagiwara, who you may recognise from the medieval fantasy comedy series Bastard. I still feel so rude saying that then. So because an art shift is seen in Orange Road once it resumes due to Matsumoto's health-related hiatus, it's rumoured that Hagiwara was responsible for this change in style. So Hagiwara went on to debut in other magazines around '87, and I've picked out work from an early story called Virgin Tyrant, because the main characters are basically the same as the Orange Road characters. This character is basically Madoka, but it's just her tsundere side, only whilst on crack. Like, she is mean character in this, but it's basically weird fanfic. So, American label Discotheque, they released the Blu-ray a few years ago, and at the end of January just gone, this year, they announced a reprint for this year. Hooray! So yeah, it's gonna come out again. So the TV series disc set is more expensive, FYI, because there's more of it. But the 8 OAVs and the movie are on another disc 2 set. So yes, save your monies. So I can't get the sound working, but if you can imagine Tony Hart's gallery music, I found lots and lots and lots of merch from the 80s and 90s. And it's mainly pencil cases, t-shirts and things. But,
Oh, I like those.
so many pencil cases. So this is a board game, junior board game. We've got a letter set, so you can write your broken-hearted letters to your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend or in between, and a telephone card gift set.
Can I tell you a funny little incident? This
Do you want me to go back?
here.
Which
No,
one?
I had a pen pal when I was a kid. She
Yeah.
went to France and got that postcard and sent it
It's
to me.
wow.
so fun.
So it was still big in France in 2002, apparently.
Wow. Probably lots of repeats, I guess. Maybe. But the green thing is an abacabo apron, so you two can pretend to work in the coffee shop.
That's amazing.
That needs to be photoshopped.
I really like those chopsticks as well. Like they're just so cute. What lovely merch. But if you want to become a collector or a core lector, you're probably going to have a bad time. Do you want a drinks coaster?
Absolutely.
Ooh!
Do you want 3 boxes of figurines?
Nice.
Would you like a figure of Malika on the beach? Do you want an idol card and a plastic wallet case so you can be a member of the Malika fan club?
Absolutely. Sign me up. It's not bad just hanging around.
Oh!
Do you want 3 stickers?
Oh, thanks.
Oh, fuck.
No.
Oh!
I bet you they're not even sticky anymore.
They flaked off from their packaging. Would you like the old Animego DVD box set?
Oh,
You
God.
know the Blu-ray's coming out later this year.
Oh! Oh, £5 delivery though.
And do you want a bundle of 2 art books? 2 beautiful art books
2.
featuring Malika.
It's gonna break £1,000.
No.
Oh!
So
I
yeah.
don't need that one.
But luckily,
Oh,
cheaper, more modern Kimagure Orange Road merchandise is still being produced, but mainly perfume. Which seems weird because are they orange citrus scents? Because that seems very unfriendly to Gigolo because cats hate citrus. No. So the 40th anniversary, you see, it came and went last year. Like, I don't know what happened. It did not come up on my social media radar or anything. And other than those vinyl records being reproduced, I didn't actually see much merch. But I like this illustration because it riffs off an old one, off a CD cover. And I think Kyosuke looks younger today because of yet another tiny scenario.
That CD that's just I think that's in that box.
Oh, is it? Yeah. We should put that on there. Like, I've got 3 slides left anyway, so like after that we'll have a look, and that will just bring me to like 42. So I've got some sad slides, I'm afraid. So Hiromi Tsuru, she works as a voice actress and a narrator since 1968. And she was most known for voicing Bulma from Dragon Ball for over 30 years. She was also known for her roles as Ukyo Koanji from Ranma, Malika obviously, and Meryl Streep from Trigun, plus many others. But unfortunately, she passed away in 2017. So we are remembering the talented actor Hiromi Tsuru. She was 57. In 2005, Izumi Matsumoto revealed he had cerebral spinal fluid disease, possibly stemming from a car accident when he was 3 years old. This forced him to take 6 years off work because sitting to draw was too painful. He hoped to bring attention to this disorder through a new proposed manga. So in 2019, Matsumoto also revealed he had been diagnosed with spinal stenosis, but he passed away on October the 6th, 2020. So we are remembering the talented artist and author, Izumi Matsumoto. He suffered for decades from this cerebral spinal fluid hypovolemia because it made him difficult to not just produce work after Orange Road, it limited his public appearances as well. It was a series that transcended language barriers with characters that resonated so closely with readers and viewers all across the world. He continued to work as effectively as he could despite living with the pain of his chronic illness. So some other anime recommendations you may enjoy if you like Orange Road. Always recommend the top 3, the original Takahashi trio. So Urusei Yatsura, Ranma, Minamicon. And I also recommend Video Girl Eye, High School Kimagure, Kimagure, and that's actually getting remade this year. And Stop Kibarikun, and the English translation of that manga has just come out as well, book 1 of 3. And I've found some Minamicon shots contrasting with Orange Road shots here, which I thought was quite funny. So yeah, so here we are at Minamicon. This is my last slide, you'll be pleased to know. We're at Minamicon. Minami itself began in the early 90s as a response to anime in the UK having a rough and bloody reputation. And because there were other types of anime that just weren't blood and guts and gore and deserved a watch, the team at Minami originally tape-traded shows as a fandom club back in its very early days, such as Video Girl Eye, Ranma, Marmalade Boy, and yes, Kimagure Orange Road. I can't quite remember how I got hold of Orange Road, but it's probably from someone here at Minamicon around 1996. So yeah, 30 years later, I'm delighted to have been able to write this slide deck, bring Orange Road back into the discussion space for both new and returning attendees at Minamicon. So I hope you are able to seek out some of the episodes. Maybe the re-release means it could soon be streaming in the UK sometime as well, perhaps. So until then, to Discotheque's Blu-rays. This QR code will give you access to view the slide deck as well. So let me know if you have any questions or thoughts in the box. Thank you.